Yo, welcome everyone. Bitcoin is breaking out and we have just hit a major price target. That's why I really hope you're right now ready for the next big move. Let me show you. First, you're going to see that yes, our golden Fibonacci ratio we have been waiting for a very long time was hit almost to the exact dollar accuracy. If you are maybe even in my free VIP Discord group, you know that I have been paying attention to the golden Fibonacci ratio for a very long time. Where I said right here, this remains the best trading setup. And right now, yes, Bitcoin has hit our golden pocket almost to the exact dollar accuracy. Not only that, when we are right now zooming in, let's just say on the 4-hour time frame, you are going to see that almost exactly at our golden pocket, Bitcoin also does have a very important liquidity level. Exactly at 97,459 US dollars was actually our previous high for liquidity purposes. And what you're right now going to see, Bitcoin took the liquidity exactly above the high, hit our golden Fibonacci ratio, and right now, of course, we are going to see if potentially we are going to get some kind of a rejection back towards the downside, maybe even in the upcoming days. And this was also one of the reasons why personally I took some profit on my long trade on Bitcoin, some profit on the long trade on XRP, and also I did open a brand new short position on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on XRP, and also on Solana. Later in the video, I'm going to share with you also exactly where we can be taking some profits on our short trades, and also if you're right now not already in a short trade, what ideally you want to wait for. But what you're right now also going to see when we are zooming out a little bit on the daily time frame to go with our volume indicator. Remember, volume is very important when we are paying attention to what Bitcoin is doing. If we are pushing towards the upside with a high volume, definitely it is going to be a bullish Bitcoin indication. But what you're right now going to see, at least on the Bybit chart, volume on the entire push towards the upside is going lower and lower and lower. However, what if we right now go on the Coinbase chart? Here the picture is actually going to be completely different. Volume on the entire push towards the upside that is right now happening for the past few days right here is actually increasing, and in this scenario on Coinbase chart, yes, we are looking slightly more bullish. That is right now why, of course, with my short trades I am being slightly more careful, but also because potentially Bitcoin might even go higher, I do remain in my long trade on Bitcoin, in the long trade on XRP, and also I'm going to keep my trading bots running on Bitcoin and also on Ethereum. So what is right now going to be our higher target if Bitcoin does go higher, and also what is going to be a very important invalidation level when we can then say, okay, if broken, probably Bitcoin is then going to continue massively towards the upside. So what we can right to do, remember our ascending triangle we have been paying attention to for a very long time right now. And what is going to be the exact target of the triangle? Simply, let's go with our trend line, measuring the entire opening of our triangle and putting the trend line on the breakout right here. You can right to see the technical target of the triangle is going to be at approximately 106,000 US dollar area, and this specific level, trust me, is not a random one. Let's go with our high term time frame levels where you're right now going to see our daily level exactly at the target of our triangle, but also approximately right here, Bitcoin also does have a liquidity level, our previous high at 107.4 thousand US dollars. So definitely this specific level, if of course Bitcoin right now does continue higher, it is going to be another very important price target you should really pay attention to. And that is right now why I would appreciate for you to smash up the like button, because 1000 likes are really possible. And of course also thank you for subscribing to the channel. Right now, let's also talk about why potentially in the upcoming hours, sure, we can still be looking for another very slight push towards the upside, but after that you really should start being slightly more careful. If you do remember from our yesterday's video where we talk about our bearish Elliot wave count, you probably also remember the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. We are going to go from our swing high back towards the swing low, talking about only the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level of the entire push down. And you can right and notice that our 0.5, at least as of right now, still has not been hit. It is going to be at approximately 98,400 US dollars. But why potentially Bitcoin can right now actually hit our 0.5 right here. Let's go with the RSI indicator, with the money flow indicator, and also with the moving average convergence divergence, or the MACD, on the 1 hour time frame. What you're actually going to see right here, we are forming not a bearish, but actually a bullish hidden divergence, because the RSI is right now getting another lower low right here, money flow indicator also another lower low, MACD indicator another lower low right here, but Bitcoin is forming another higher low. Those indications right here are actually hidden bullish divergences, and of course are simply going to be a bullish indication for Bitcoin, why potentially in the upcoming hours we are actually looking for much higher price targets, and I would say at least for another higher high, approximately at 98,000 US dollars. Then of course we are going to see if our 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level right here is going to get respected. Also, something very important I posted yesterday in my free VIP Discord server, where I talked about the daily RSI going in the overbought area. Let's right now apply the RSI indicator on our chart. Let's go on the daily time frame, where we are right now going to see something very important. The RSI, at least as of right now, is not anymore in the overbought area. When I made this screenshot yesterday, yes, the RSI actually went directly in the overbought area right here, but something very important that I want to point out right here. Usually, once the RSI goes in the overbought area, is something you should really pay attention to. Last time we were in the overbought, it was literally exactly at the all-time high. Also, the previous time we went overbought, Bitcoin definitely then got some kind of a push back towards downside. Also right here, we went in the overbought area, Bitcoin got a push towards downside. So I'm not right now saying we need to immediately get a big rejection back down, but the reality right now is, if we are once again going to go in the overbought area on the daily time frame, on the RSI indicator, definitely it is going to be a major bearish Bitcoin indication. Also, completely opposite is usually happening when the RSI reaches the oversold area on the daily time frame. We hit the oversold right here, exact bottom, and right now we are simply getting some kind of a push toward the upside. Also right here, oversold area, it was not the exact bottom, but nevertheless, we then started forming a bullish divergence. Bitcoin got a bigger reversal back towards the upside. But the main point I want to make right here is that simply, once we are going to be in the overbought area, historically speaking, it is a very important time for Bitcoin, because simply we might be looking for a bigger rejection back towards downside. That is why I did fire a brand new short trade, not only on Bitcoin, also on Ethereum, also on XRP, and also on Solana. But the thing is right now, if Bitcoin is going to go lower, how low can we actually go? And also, what is going to be one very important level you should really pay attention to in a case it is going to get broken towards the upside, when we can then say, okay, probably we are not really expecting another lower low right here, but we might even be expecting higher targets first before another bigger push down can potentially start. The very important 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level is actually not a random price target. We go again from the high back towards the low. The 98,400 US dollar area is actually a very important invalidation level for our bearish Elliot wave count. And remember what we talked about yesterday. We simply said we might be looking for another bigger push down on Bitcoin, simply because we potentially finished right here the first impulse, we got a correction, another impulse right here, another correction, and of course also potentially we might be expecting another bigger push back towards downside. But the reality right now is, the very important rule with the fourth Elliott wave is that we should not go above the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. So at least as of right now, we are still below the 0.5. We can still be expecting a bigger rejection back down. That is why I do remain in my short trades right here. But the thing is, if the 0.5 is going to get broken towards the upside, in this scenario, potentially, our bigger 5-wave price structure right here is going to get invalidated. But at least as of right now, the 0.5 is still the area of resistance. And that is why, in my opinion, the next trade, at least in terms of the probability, is still going to be another short trade. And of course, if you want to trade with us, I would highly recommend you to start trading on Bybit right here. You're going to get up to 30,000 US dollar free bonus. And also, also 20 USDT completely for free only after you register with the first link down below. Click the link right here, you register, you get 20 USDT, but also after you're going to deposit, you're going to get another 20 USDT, and also when you're going to open up your first trade, you're going to get even bigger bonuses. So definitely take an advantage of the free rewards using the first link down below. You register, you get 20 USDT, you deposit, you get another bonus, and of course also when you're going to open up your first trade, you're going to get even bigger rewards. Right now, let's also talk about another bearish indication I'm right now paying attention to on the 1 hourly time frame, because the reality right now is what we can say. We are going to look slightly more bearish once Bitcoin is going to get bearish market structure on the 1 hourly time frame. So what you're right now going to see, for the past few days right here, we have simply been pumping towards the upside significantly. It was right here a high, a higher low, another high, another higher low, and also right here another higher high. If Bitcoin is going to get a push towards the upside, taking the low right here, what we can then say, of course, Bitcoin is in this scenario going to change our bullish market structure into the bearish market structure, lower low on Bitcoin, potential lower high, and then of course also a bigger push down can potentially start for our bigger fifth Elliot wave. Also, another thing I'm going to be paying attention to, of course, are going to be our exponential moving averages, because at least as right now, all of them are looking bullish except on the daily time frame. On the 1 hourly, we are in an uptrend. On the 2 hourly, we are in an uptrend simply because the 50 EMA is above the 200 EMA. On the 4 hourly, yes, we are still also in an uptrend. So what we can right now say, a bearish indication of Bitcoin is going to be once we are going to be taking the low right here, because it's going to be the first lower low, bearish market structure, and then also if we are then also potentially going to get a bearish cross with our 200 and also with our 50 EMA. Then of course we are going to know the average trend on the 1 hourly was changed. Then of course we are also going to see if we do get a bearish cross on the 2 hourly and also on the 4 hourly time frame. But the thing is, on the way towards the upside right now, because such an important area of resistance is getting hit, no way I'm looking for any breakout trades right here. I am paying myself, taking the profits on my long trades on Bitcoin and also on XRP. My trading bots right here are constantly taking the profit for me, and of course if we are going to get a push down, definitely they are going to be buying the dip. Also right now, pay attention to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. I know I'm sharing this with you almost every single day, but the reality right now is bigger liquidations are going to happen if Bitcoin does get another push down. People right now, trust me, they are definitely getting slightly more bullish. Maybe some of them are also firing a brand new long trade, a breakout trade out of the ascending triangle. But the reality is, on the way up, no way I'm looking for another buy position. I'm simply taking the profits, looking for a reversal for a potential short position approximately at the area where we are as of right now. And if Bitcoin is going to get a push down on the 2-week time frame, what you're right now going to see, major liquidations, 320 million of short trades are going to get wrecked if Bitcoin is going to start taking the liquidity below our recent lows. Now, also, what if we are zooming in a little bit on the 1-week time frame? The story is going to be completely the same. Yes, the biggest liquidations are going to be exactly below the recent lows at approximately 90,000 US dollars. And this right here is definitely also going to be another bearish Bitcoin indication. So what is right now our current game plan? Of course, as I said before to you, I am taking the profits of my long trades. I'm not going to fully close them just yet, but the thing is, if we do get a bearish indication Bitcoin, yes, potentially I'm going to close them, only remain in my short trades on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and also Solana. But the reality right now also is, if we do go higher towards our 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level right here, and do maybe even get a liquidity grab above the recent high, it can also be another very nice entry for us to maybe even add more capital to our short trades, or simply if you haven't already fired a short trade, you can potentially be looking for another trade right here, stop loss or the invalidation level above our 0.5, looking for another bigger push towards downside. This right here, in my opinion, is right now going to be still a very nice trading setup. I'm not saying it is going to play out, but the thing is, we do have a very clear invalidation level if Bitcoin does go above the 0.5 in this scenario, and only in this scenario we are then going to look for much higher targets, and our long trades definitely are going to be in a very nice profit. This is right now why, if you you want to trade with us, take an advantage of the free $30,000 bonus, because only after you register with the first link down below, you're going to get 20 USDT completely for free. Then make sure you deposit, you're going to get another 20 USDT, and also when you're going to open up your first trade, you're going to get even bigger bonuses. But also right now, thank you for smashing up the like button.